Hi, my name's Natasha, and in this video, I'm going to ask you 100 IELTS speaking questions. Your answers to these questions should be short, but not too short. So I'll give you 15 seconds to answer each one. Ready? Let's go. Let's talk about pets. What kind of pets are common where you live? Did you have a pet as a child? Do you enjoy visiting people who have pets at home? Are there any animals you would never keep as a pet? Let's move on to talk about wild animals. Where can people in your country see a wild animal? When was the last time you visited a zoo? What animals have you seen in the wild? Do you like watching TV programs about wild animals? How are you finding these questions? Are they easy or difficult? Let us know in the comments below and don't forget to subscribe. Let's keep going. Let's now talk about art. Did you study art at school? Do you enjoy creating art? Why or why not? Have you ever visited an art gallery? If you could be good at one type of art, what would it be? Let's talk about mobile phones. What was your first mobile phone like? Do you use your mobile phone mainly for work or for personal reasons? What features do you consider most important in a mobile phone? Are there times when you prefer not to use your mobile phone? Let's now move on to talk about law and order. Did you learn about the law at school? Do people generally follow the traffic laws where you live? Do you enjoy watching films about crime? Would you like to be a police officer? Why or why not? How are you going? If you're struggling to think of topic-specific vocabulary, I've got something that can help you. At E2, we have this. It's the IELTS Topic Toolkit. It's a 100-page ebook that includes the top 20 IELTS topics, vocabulary, resources, speaking questions, and sample essays. You can get it for a low price by clicking the link in the description. Now let's talk about neighbors. How often do you talk to your neighbors? Have you ever helped a neighbor with a problem? How important is it to you to like your neighbors? Would you like to live in a place where neighbors know each other well? Let's move on to talk about museums. Are there many museums where you live? When did you last visit a museum? Is it more enjoyable to visit a museum or read a history book? Do you like visiting museums when you travel overseas? Now let's talk about school. Did you have a favorite teacher at primary school? Which subjects did you enjoy in high school? Would you like to be a teacher? Do you think that schools in the future will be different from the schools you went to? Let's talk about films. Did you have a favorite film when you were a child? What kinds of films do you enjoy now? How popular are foreign films in your country? Do you prefer watching films in a cinema or at home? Let's talk about the environment. Did you learn about environmental issues at school? Are there many environmental problems in your country? Do you often discuss environmental topics with other people? What are some of the things you do to help protect the environment? Now I'd like to talk about family. Is family important in your country? Do you have a large family? Who are you closest to in your family? Do you prefer spending time with family or friends? Let's talk about food. What is your favorite food? Have your food preferences changed since childhood? Do you enjoy eating in restaurants? What kind of food would you like to try? Let's talk about growing food. Have you ever grown any food? What kind of foods grow near where you live? How popular is growing your own food among the people you know? Would you prefer to grow food or to grow flowers? Let's talk about the news. How do you usually access the news? When was the last time you bought a newspaper? Are you more interested in local news or world news? Do you enjoy discussing global issues with other people? Let's move on to talk about exercise. How often do you exercise? Do you do the same type of exercise now as when you were younger? Do you prefer exercising indoors or outdoors? Is there anything you would like to change about your exercise habits? Let's talk about staying healthy. Do you enjoy learning about health? What do you do to take care of your health? Do you search for health information online? Is there anything you could do to be healthier? Remember, you can learn more about topic-specific vocabulary from the E2 IELTS Topic Toolkit ebook. The link is in the description. I'd like to talk about social media now. When did you first start using social media? What do you use social media for? Do you sometimes share too much information on social media? Do you think you will spend more or less time on social media in the future? Let's talk about money. Did you get pocket money as a child? How difficult is it for you to save money? Do most people in your country use cash, credit cards, or payment apps? Is there anything you could do to earn more money? Let's move on to talk about computers. How did you learn to use a computer? What is your favorite computer program or application? Have you ever had a problem with a computer? Would you like to improve your computer skills? Now I'd like to talk about space. Did you learn about space as a child? Do you ever gaze at the stars? Do you enjoy TV programs about space? Do you think it would be interesting to visit other planets? Let's move on to talk about sport. Which sports are popular in your country? Do you enjoy watching sports? What places are there for playing sport near where you live? Is there any kind of sport you would never do? Why? Now let's talk about driving. At what age do most people in your country learn to drive? Do you know how to drive a car? How important is it to you to be able to drive? Do you think it is more enjoyable to be a driver or a passenger in a car? Let's talk about public transport. Does your hometown have a good public transport system? How often do you take public transport? Have you ever had a problem on public transport? What would you like to change about the public transport system where you live? Let's move on to talk about travel. Have you traveled a lot? Do you prefer planning your trip or letting someone else do it? Who do you prefer to travel with? Where would you like to travel to in the future? Now I'd like to talk about work. Have you ever had a part-time job? How do people in your country usually search for work? Would you prefer to work for a small company or a large organization? If you did not need money, would you still work? Whoa, that was a lot of questions. On test day, you'll be asked on average 10 questions, not 100, but it's always good to practice. Remember, if you're struggling to think of topic-specific vocabulary, you can purchase the E2 Topic Toolkit ebook by clicking the link in the description. If you like this video, please let us know in the comments. See you next time!